All right. Happy start of May, everyone. Welcome to the new month. This is our first live this month. It's a 30-minute Q&A session with me, your host, Ify, USA clients all over the USA to file their marriage-based green card and to answer any immigration questions that you need help with. So come on in. Today's going to be really quick. I already have questions coming in from TikTok, and we are also live on Instagram. We are going to answer all your questions in the next 30 minutes. So feel free to ask questions in the comments while I discuss a very important topic, which someone already asked me about this in the comments, about the green card interviews. So if you're applying for your green card through marriage, this live is for you. All right. Again, thank you for joining us every Tuesday and Thursday for this session. Thank you. Appreciate you. I see you. Stay on. Rebecca, welcome in. All right. Today's topic is about marriage-based green card interviews and if they can be waived. Somebody said in the comments, I have just interviewed for a marriage-based green card. Do you have any tips? So I'll talk a little bit about the interview requirement for those of you applying through family and how in the past 3-4 years we've seen some of those interviews being waived. But now in 2024, we're seeing an increase in interviews again because COVID, it's over. That was the whole reason why they were waiving interviews. Anyway, so if you have questions about your interview, if you got an interview notice, feel free to ask about that. If you're nervous, wondering what types of questions you would find in those interviews, feel free to ask during this live. But for right now, I'll just talk a little bit about some of the situations whereby they might waive your interview and essentially what the USCIS is looking for when they call you and your spouse for an interview. And I'll just add real quick, guys, in case you did not know, if your spouse is refusing to go to this interview or if you're having difficulties attending this interview, you're able to reschedule for one, and then if it's an abuse situation, a control situation, you're able to still get your green card without your spouse. So reach out to me. My number is on the screen, and I'm going to pin it in the comments on TikTok and Instagram so you can book a consultation to talk to me about this particular situation and how to still get your green card. All right. Alula says, I have a question. Sure, please feel free to ask your questions. This is why I'm here, all right, to answer you. All right, so Island Gale, thank you very much. I see you here again, always here in my lives. Appreciate it. Trudy on Instagram, thanks for the hearts. I'm going to give you all a wave to let you know that I see you and I appreciate you for being here. All right, Alula. Am I saying that correctly? Alula. Your question says, please, how can I stay, or how long can I stay outside the U.S. if I have a 2-year green card? Great question. Thank you very much. That question is pretty much try to figure out how you can maintain your permanent residency status without living in the USA. And Alula, I'll tell you, if you're trying to become a U.S. citizen in the future, the best thing for you is to stay in the USA for more than half of the year. Don't be outside for more than 6 months. Because if you start living outside the USA, it's going to seem like you don't really want the green card. And then you're going to increase the amount of time you have to wait to become a U.S. citizen, which is going to give you the ultimate freedom you're looking for to travel and stay out wherever you want. So the short answer to that is stay outside the USA for less than 6 months, right? If you have a 2-year green card, 10-year green card, it doesn't matter. As long as you're not a U.S. citizen, you can't stay outside for more than half the year. Okay? Great question. I see one on YouTube, Mr. McD. Thank you very much. I appreciate your compliments. It is my intention to show up and be a resource for you all. I'm an immigrant myself. Many of you already know this. I'm from Nigeria, and I went through this process of coming in with a religious visa and applying for my green card and then applying for my US citizenship. It took like 7 years total. So know how that felt. Didn't really have, the internet wasn't the way it is right now. So I didn't have these resources. So I'm glad I'm able to provide information for you all here. Alan Gale says, do you pay a fee for CO9 EAD renewal if you apply for VAWA abeyance? And Island Gale, I believe you do not pay a fee for the CO9. I think if you apply for VAWA abeyance, that means you had an I-45 pending. Did you file for I-765 then as well? Generally, there's no fee to renew your EAD. Even now, for VAWA applicants, new applicants, you don't even have to pay for your work authorization just in general. So that's a new thing that started in April. All right, so can't believe it's already been about a month since they increased those USCIS fees. We made it though. People are still applying. We're still here doing it. So we'll always make it. Let's just focus on the things that we can control. If it's a marriage-based green card or family-based green card you're doing, you're going to focus on gathering your evidence of real marriage. You're going to focus on building your family, the family that you actually said you wanted to build, right? There are other things you can do if you don't have your work permit yet, other things you can plan and look forward to. So focus on those things and we'll make it. All right. I see more people. Althea Brown. I had a friend called Althea. Thank you for being here. I'm not sure. Is that you, Althea? I don't think so, though. Samaya on Instagram. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Abby says those fees were a lot. I'm like, whoa, exactly. It went from 1760 for a concurrent filing, a one-shot filing, to 3005. Okay, that's just the government filing fees. And then if you're going with a service like our service, you're gonna consider those payments as well. And I encourage you all to actually go with a service because penny wise, pound foolish sometimes. I've seen people on this live tell me how they did it themselves and then got a rejection and now they have to pay some more. They don't know how to respond to the rejection because they don't know what they really did wrong and why is it being rejected. So it's penny wise, pound foolish. If you really want to invest in your future and just do this one time for all, it's best to go with a professional. Because even when things go wrong, we have to fight the USCIS sometimes, but you're not going to know how to do that. So if you get an RFE or NOID or just something that is not in accordance to the rules and the expectations, even though this is discretionary, it is not a right. It is something that you could get approved or denied. It's just one of those things. There are rules and guidelines to help us as immigration lawyers, as immigrants, just to keep, the peace and keep things organized. So we make sure that whatever it is you qualify for, you're going to get it. All right. Yeah. So I'm seeing more questions coming in. I haven't quite started discussing the topic of the day, but I'll keep on answering your questions and we'll just kind of gist about it here and there because essentially the gist of it is some interviews get waived and some don't. All right. You may have, I've had clients who had the interviews waived. We just received a green card in the mail. Everyone's happy because there's a lot of heartache when it comes to preparing for the interviews. You're just scared because you have to go before this government official and, answer questions about intimate details about your life. It's just uncomfortable. Right? So if you have to skip that, if you can skip that, it's great. But it's not something you request. They just look at your case and just determine that, yes, we can actually see that this is a real marriage or there's actually some type of extreme hardship or something going on, like one of the spouses abroad, like in the military or something. And there's just no need. They waive it. Okay, it's discretionary for them. All right. So I hope I'm helping someone with this live. Today we're here for just 30 minutes just to really get into your questions and also discuss other issues related to getting your marriage-based green card. So Appreciate you all for sticking around and being here. See lots of viewers on YouTube today. Thank you very much. Welcome. We have to revive our YouTube because, since TikTok will soon go, even though they say it's still a year from now, let's get that YouTube popping. That was my first platform. I started posting when I started, my law firm and serving you all with immigration services. I started on YouTube, and now we're here. Okay. Thanks for your questions. This is Mokhtar Sidibe. Hope I said that right. Thanks for being here. It says this on TikTok. I have been waiting for USCIS to make a decision of the request for evidence for I-35 for 6 months. Yeah, 6 months is a long time. You got an RFE. What was the RFE about? Was it for medical or like an actual issue? Like what happened? Because after 6 months, you should already get a decision by now if it's medical or something pretty simple, right? But I'm not sure why it's taking so long. And what's your total wait time? City Bay, let us know. All right, Shoaib, thanks for being here. Welcome in. I know you've heard about your case being received in the process, right? Give me a thumbs up if you are currently waiting for your green card, if you got your receipt notice, or if you haven't gotten your receipt notice, let us know the situation about that. Because a lot of people, there's been a lot of complaints about the receipt notices taking a while now in some cases. Awesome. Thanks, Shoaib, for being here and sharing this live and also referring people to us. Appreciate it. Okay. Sarah on TikTok says, can someone get a green card from a green card holder with no U.S. passport? Sarah, it depends on who that someone is. Is this someone a spouse, a child, or a brother or sister? Who's the someone? Because permanent residents are able to file for their relatives, but there are some restrictions. Yeah. So let me know who the someone is, and I'll give you more clarity on that. Right now, though, in fact, I have not checked the May bulletin. We just started May. Today's May 2nd. They may have changed the timeline or the backlog. The bulletin tells us what's going on right now in terms of green card availability for certain categories. If your spouse is a U.S. permanent resident, it's going to be a F2A category. So we have to see what that is, and then it depends. So Sarah says it's a spouse, and how long does it take? So Sarah, for spouse, for one, if you're in the USA currently, you have to be in status. You have to not be out of status, essentially, to qualify for this. And two, you may not be able to adjust right away. You can apply for the I-130, which is a petition that says we are married, the relationship is real, okay? So it will take some time if there's still a backlog. I haven't checked that visa bulletin today, but there has been a backlog in the past couple of months here. And I think September last year was the last time people could actually adjust their status based on a marriage for F2A category, or based on an F2A application, rather. So yeah. Oh, Shoaib says they even sent me a new letter on how to log in and online information and all that. Great. I'm so glad to hear that, Shoaib. I definitely want you to create that account. That's something that will require of all our clients now, to have their USCIS account, because that's going to help you with your case management, to see the updates about your case, to update, to add information, because you can even upload information to USCIS and see when there's a change immediately. So yeah, definitely follow those instructions. If you have questions, please reach out to us. We'll help you with that. Okay. Doctor, I see your comment. I'm gonna read it in a second. Thank you for asking it a million times. Um, so, Sarah, I hope that answers your question, and I'll go to Denzel, and then I'll answer Doctor Who. What kind of doctor are you? Simply Chris, thanks for being here, and Mr. Walls and Fabowd and Matt's mommy. All right, lots of you all on Instagram. Thank you. Okay, Denzel says, does an I-693 RFE mean the interview is waived? What are your observations? Denzel, great question, because in this live, we're actually talking about interviews being waived. And my observation is that, yes, if you get a RFE for your medical, they're most likely already waiving your interview. That's a great question. Thank you very much for bringing that up, because essentially you can always take a medical to the interview, but if they're asking you for this medical beforehand, that means they looked at everything checks out. They just need to make sure you are not inadmissible for any medical reason, because you all know if you don't take the vaccine, if you have tuberculosis or other mental health, so on and so forth, you could be inadmissible for that. It's not only criminal stuff. It's not only unlawful presence or working unauthorized, all this type of stuff. There's medical inadmissibilities as well. So that's why they ask for the medical. Okay. So if they ask you for it beforehand, they're most likely getting waived. It's not a guarantee, but most likely. That's been my observation. Okay. All right. Dr. Obang. Okay, so you're a physician. Dr. Obang, thank you for your question. You're married to a USA citizen. You did your biometrics in March, just a few weeks ago. When is the EAD going to be approved? All right. I think someone asked that question. Abby asked that question at the beginning of this live. And basically, I told Abby it'll take around 6 months minimum, maximum 12 months. I've seen it take 11 months for one of my clients. I've also seen it take 30 days. It really is a give or take situation depending on where you're at and just what's going on in the service center that's processing your stuff. In Charlotte, that's where we're at. We've seen that stuff in 30 days. I was shocked. It's, we do the same things with our experience. We're able to give all our clients the same level of detail in the application, because this is what we do. 90% of the time is merit-based green cards. Other times it is other family immigration stuff. So if you're looking for someone who has the expertise and knowledge when it comes to getting your green card through family, I don't think you should hesitate anymore. I think you should just call us right now, because this is what we do. Save yourself the headache of thinking and researching, coming to all sorts of lives. I mean, I like that you all are here today, but it's not, you can't get the full picture by all these piecemeals that you get all over the place. The internet is full of information and misinformation. So don't play yourself. All right. Victor, thanks for being here. Hastro Brown, I think I've seen your name before. Thanks for being here on Instagram. All right. Denzel, you are welcome. I'm glad I could answer you quickly. And Dr. Obeng, I hope that answers your questions as well in terms of how long you get your work permit after you do your biometrics. Okay. So Abby says, I have another question. My fiance did his medicals in his home country, but we didn't add it to his file, but we added what he had brought. Okay, are you doing an adjustment of status through fiance visa? Fiance visa, he came in on a fiance visa and now you're doing the I-485. Is that what it is, Abby? In that case, okay. In that case, the medical is already done. You just need to adjust the status. I believe they'll be able to use that other medical that he did you won't have to add it to this stuff because it's not here, right? It's you already gave it to the consular, so they already looked at it. I think that's fine. But I've seen in one case, and this was 2 years ago. So now they've changed the rules. I think anybody, what was that rule again? I said it in one of my lives. There was a new rule about the medicals that if you've taken it from a certain time to a certain time, it's basically good indefinitely now. So that's the new thing they're doing. They're just really trying to extend things to reduce people reapplying and redoing things. Because this one client I had in 2021 had to redo his medical because it had been over 2 years and it expired. So, but before he got his green card, he had to do another medical in the USA. But I don't think for your fiance who's applying now, I don't think that would just be the case anymore. Okay. Well, great question. Thank you very much. See lots of you on here as well. Thanks for sharing and liking and following me as well. And I invite you all to follow my other social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I'm the marriage green card lawyer everywhere you look. And I'm also IFE, USA immigration lawyer. All right. Let's see what else I wanted to touch on. Because I did write down some things here, but I've just been freestyling really. For one, my head kind of hurts because as you all can see, these fresh braids, okay? So that one is there. And I do have a consultation in a few minutes. So I'm just kind of freestyling, giving you all the time to just be here and be a resource for you all. Okay, so TikTok is the marriage green card lawyer. I'm just the marriage green card lawyer everywhere. Or IFE Esquire too. IFE Esquire is Esquire means lawyer, right? Just my other name on the internet. So if you see IFE Esquire or the marriage green card lawyer, it's me. Okay. There's other people called IFE in this world, obviously, and other attorneys called IFE, but because one time somebody sent me someone else's website, attorneyife.com. That's not my website. My website is marriagegreencard.us. So make sure you know who you're reaching out to, who you're talking to, what we do. If you check out our website, you'll see about us. And if you're looking for that type of service that we offer, we can help you for sure. Okay? Okay. The request for evidence was your wife's tax return. This is from Mokhtar Sidibe. Mokhtar, thank you for updating me on that. So you sent it 6 months ago. Let's see. And well, since it's that type of stuff, because tax returns are very important to determine your eligibility as well for the green card. So it might take a little bit more time, but feel free to always contact the USCIS. You can do service requests. But if your case is still within the processing time, sometimes they won't. They'll just tell you the same generic answers. We're still processing your case. Nothing, just wait. Well, it's a lot of patience, guys, when you're dealing with immigration. Lots and lots of patience. So let's just, do you have your work permit, City Bay? I am not Kwame. You're here again. Thanks for being here. I'm good. And let me see your question. I got my I-131 approved yesterday. Does it mean my green card will be approved soon? I am not Kwame. It absolutely does not mean that. It means you can now travel outside the USA without any issues of re-entry. Okay, the I-131 is your travel re-entry permit that allows you to enter the USA. Because at this point, you filed for a green card, you don't have a visa anymore. You're not a tourist. You're not a student. Well, you could still be a student, but it is in your best interest as someone who has a pending I-485 to always travel with a travel permit so that your reentry will not be disturbed. Otherwise, you have to go back to your country and do a consular process. They will tell you that you have forfeited your I-485 because you left and, goodbye. And that could also trigger some type of bans that you may not be aware of. So be mindful about that. So now that you got approved, just keep living your life. Do you have a work permit, Kwame, or not Kwame? So hope that helps you. And Sidibe, you say you just filed. You recently just filed it. So yeah, just wait, Chas, because 6 months is still okay for waiting for green card. This stuff is 1 year plus, guys. We only start to go ham if you're facing 24 plus months of waiting and nothing. So have they lost your case? What's happened? Or if you had your interview and they haven't said anything after 120 days, we're like, okay, there are certain parameters you have to follow before you can start telling them, like, listen, guys, stop playing with me and get this stuff going. I mean, they're trying, Sha. Like, lately, they've been increasing up, they've been doing things a bit quicker, changing some things to online. So, that's their way of trying to make it better. If you all are dealing with any government agencies for anything whatsoever, IRS, DMV, all that stuff is, it can drag. So just be patient. You will get your green card. All right. And I always end with this. If you focus on the things that matter the most, like God, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. So if you focus on those things, you get your green card. Like, stop acting like as if you have control over anything. Like, I don't really know. So I'll help you as much as we can in the legal aspect, but at the end of the day, it's still God that determines what happens with us. I've seen people get their green cards. I actually had a consultation with one guy the other day. Well, it was a couple years ago, actually. But after the consultation, was supposed to do a removal of conditions or something like that. And then he went to Nigeria and now just died. Okay, so that was the end of that. So keep that in mind whenever you are doing these things when it comes to your green card. Yeah. Leo, patience is key, all right? You're welcome. I am not Carmen says I have my work permit and social, so great. So, keep on living your life. Um, you know, Leo, I think you should just reach out to me first, answer your questions, because I'm not really sure what you are, what that's about. I see one on YouTube, Chrissy B. Thank you very much for being here. I've seen you several times before. I recognize a lot of you all's names from coming to our lives consistently. Really appreciate that. As you follow us along, you'll see that we offer some specials every month to help you all access the service for those of you who are our supporters here. So keep an eye out for that, because I want to make sure, I want to talk to you all one-on-one sometime. Okay, well, Chrissy says, hello for AOS, U.S. citizens, husband files, head of household on tax. Is that an issue for our case? We have a child that is dependent on his tax. Okay. Chrissy, this is definitely a tax question, but I'll give you some guidance on what the USCIS is looking for in terms of the I-864. So essentially, for the I-864, they want to see your U.S. citizens' income, right? They want to see that they're earning enough to actually support this application, right? If your spouse is the head of household, maybe he's not filing, because if you're married, you could be head of household or married filing jointly or married filing separately. They're all different tax categories. So if your spouse is the head of household and you have a child dependent on the tax, that's how you're going to calculate the household size for your I-864. This is a household of 3. So it's Chrissy, the child, and then the husband. As far as bona fide relationship goes, whether you file as married filing jointly or married filing separately or head of household, whatever, you can still prove bona fide marriage as long as you're living in that house, you're still on the taxes as a dependent or whatever. And there's other proof too of your bona fides. If you're looking for joint financial assets, it doesn't have to be your taxes. It could be your joint account. It could be a mortgage. It could be a credit card. It could be other things. So head of household stuff, I don't see that being an issue in terms of proving bona fide marriage, and in terms of proving the income requirement. As long as they file the taxes, that's really what the USCIS is looking for. Okay? All right. I hope that answers you, Chrissy. Thank you very much for being here and for asking. No Name God says, this is on TikTok, says, is there an illegal entry? There shall be no green card. Oh, wait. If there is an illegal entry, there shall be no green card. Is that a statement or a question? Because I'll tell you that if there's a legal entry, there is a green card, because there is a waiver of unlawful presence, right? It is, you have to show extreme hardship, though, to your U.S. citizen relative, not just normal hardships. I mean, hardship is hardship, but they use the word extreme because when it comes to families, really, I think just that dynamic alone makes any type of hardship extreme. If it's financial, it's going to be extreme because you probably have children, right? You got into this partnership to help you all with doing life, right? So it's extreme. So we need to be able to put that stuff together and show the evidence that you should still get the green card, even though you violated immigration laws by entering without a visa or whatever else you did that was unlawful. All right? Yeah. Hope that kind of answers, or at least add some more to that statement. So I'll be rounding off soon because I do have a consultation coming up in the next 10 minutes. I want to see you all in these consultations. So book a call with me with my phone number, which is on the screen or in the comments. Oh, I actually did not pin the number in the comments. But if you're watching this outside of the live, it's going to be in the captions. It's going to be just everywhere. So you can reach out in my bio. You'll see my website, marriagegreencard.us. You can check that out to book a consultation and learn about our services. Very awesome website created by my awesome team. 919. Wait, what's my number again? Oh, wait, 919-925-2295. Phone number. Yeah. So check it out. Check me out. So you can get to hear the real tea during our one-on-ones. Can I reopen a case from 2004? This is from Tyra. Tyra, OMG, 2004 is like 20 years ago. Probably not. What kind of case was it? Like, what are you looking to reopen? And Layek says, I will win this year, inshallah. Amen, amen. You will win. You will have whatever you say. That's why I'm very keen on how I speak to myself, to people, and how I let others speak to me, because you're not going to put that stuff into my destiny and my atmosphere, okay? So you will win in Jesus' name. Amen. Rack says, can a green card holder file a petition for his husband who came in on a tourist visa and stay here? Rack, generally that would have been okay, but right now permanent residence F2A category is backlogged, so that might be an issue. Definitely speak to an attorney before you make those decisions, because there's also the intent issues, like plenty of things to think about. Okay, so I'm gonna end now. I thank you all for being here. I'm gonna finish up my smoothie, maybe get some more water, take some Panadol or something. I think you'll call it Tylenol in the USA, or ibuprofen or whatever, just painkiller shot. So these are my grades. But anyways, it was great chatting with y'all live. I enjoyed answering your questions, and I hope that you know that your marriage green card may or may not be waived. Married green card interview rather may or may not be waived in 2024, but if it is waived, congrats, you get your green card. If it's not waived, make sure you prepare, know the questions and answers that you need to know with you and your spouse. You need to be on the same page about. So make sure you know that stuff, prepare yourself, because that's the last and final stage of your green card application, and that will determine the final decision as well. Okay. All right. Well, take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to yourselves and to others. Focus on things that matter, and everything else will be well. All right. Bye-bye.